You don't dream big enough. I promise. Every single year, I always think, and every single person that I talk to that's a normal person about what I plan on doing and what I am doing and what the end objective is, or at least the 5, 10 year goal, they always think I'm batshit crazy. Saying, what the fuck are you talking about? It sounds insane and massive. But every year or so, I come to the realization that I am not thinking near as big enough. And I need to think 5, 10 times bigger. Effort versus scale are two very different things. It takes a ton of effort to work a normal 9 to 5 job. If you were an electrician, like my dad is, he worked for Verizon where he was just do the installations. And that is a tough job. You're working every single day for the rest of your life. If you have a small cafe, it is the same thing as running a business. You're managing people, you have all your bills, you're doing all these things, and you're working exceptionally long hours and you're doing very difficult things. But it doesn't mean you have any scale. And so, like the way that I've always thought about it, well, I just think of what is the dream impact or income that I'm looking for, and then reverse engineer. Let's say if it was $250 million per year, that sounds like a massive number, but the thing is, when you're hanging around business owners that are making that much revenue every single year and they're looking to double, triple, 100x what they're doing, and they are taking actions to actually do that, it makes the scale seem so small to what I'm doing. And it forces me to think way bigger because of the unique business that I have, where I'm integrating and helping a lot of really, really large businesses. I get to see exactly how they operated and exactly what their goals are and exactly how they plan to achieve that. It just makes me say, well, if I'm going to do something, why not at least do something that's going to pay or have as much impact as that is? So let's say it was $1 million per month. Well, you just have to, first off, reverse engineer the math as to how you're going to get there. Let's say you would need 40 clients at $25,000 per month. So how do you get a client at $25,000 per month? How much value do you have to provide that person? Well, if you were helping a business that was doing $50+ million per year do all of their marketing, and you were completely eliminating the time that they had to spend on it and giving them the best possible results in their industry, in their niche, well, that would be worth $25,000+ per month if you were doing 100% of their organic traffic or social media for them. And then how much money would you have to make them? Let's say as a brand, they get X amount of brand exposure. That could be worth many millions more dollars for them if you could actually provide the value. So then it's actually a very achievable thing. So then how do you actually do that? Well, you have to build in-house pretty much every aspect of that company, vertically integrate, and then get the deal flow. For me, deal flow is super easy, or at least client acquisition is super easy because I already work with super, super large businesses. So my bottleneck that I'm running into is not finding more clients. It's more so showing the best possible results and being able to scale showing that results. Right now, the only reason why all of these other businesses want to work with me, and I'm just helping large businesses with their organic social media right now, mainly YouTube, but pretty much doing everything, and helping them with the goal of getting more customers and getting more deal flow, getting higher quality staff, because when you start to grow on social media, you get a lot better talent and you get better deal flow. People want to work with you. So there's a lot of benefits, and the businesses that I'm working with, they're getting exceptional amounts of views right now, and they're getting exceptional amounts of revenue that's driving in from it. So all of their friends also run large businesses, and I've become friends with them. And so everyone wants this done. The problem up until now that I've recently run into is, well, how do you keep the same quality at scale? And I'm starting to fill in the pieces by getting all the processes and building out some teams that are allowing this to scale. But that's just one aspect. I mean, that is just kind of one stage of a vertically integrated business that I'm looking to kind of build up right now. And all of it really just takes the same amount of effort as if I was running a coffee shop, but it just takes a few other skills that take longer to learn, but the payout is higher. So when I'm thinking, how do you dream bigger and what is bigger, you just have to ask yourself questions like, what does the marketplace actually need? What skills do I have to learn to fulfill that marketplace desire? What products have to be built? Who can actually build these types of products? What is my bottleneck? Is it Do I not have any way to get sales? Do I have unlimited way to get sales? And you just kind of have to think these things through. But I don't think anyone actually asks themselves important questions ever. Since I'm so young and so naive, I'll just ask myself, well, Josh, why aren't you making, $20 million a month right now? Genuinely. And then I have to think, well, what am I doing wrong? uh, and I just have to figure out, why am I not doing that? And it sounds like such a dumb question, but I think kids ask the best questions in the entire world because they're so simple and they're so obvious. Well, why aren't you making more money? That is it's sometimes a tough question to answer. You dumb fuck. Why, Josh? Why are you not making 5 times more money right this second? What are you doing wrong? If you're not doing anything wrong, how can you make more money? And the goal is not really just about money. It's how do you create as much value as possible? Because you throw out this, let's say, $25,000 per month ticket. What amount of value can be provided from that? Because all money is a way to store your excess productivity. It is the epicenter of capitalism, which is amazing. Someone works, and in exchange for their work, they get a tool that allows them to store that work, aka their energy that they poured into it. They can store it with the tool of money. And from that money, you can call it that stored productivity that they did by working or doing whatever it was to obtain that stored productivity. They get to keep it. And then they get to choose with their money what they do with it. They can do whatever they want. They could go do cocaine and strippers. They could buy anything that they want to. And if they choose to buy your product or service, they would rather have your product or service because it's going to benefit their life in a higher degree than keeping their stored productivity, which is an amazing thing. That is the highest form of compliment in the entire world. That means your product better be good enough to accept and be worthy of their stored energy. Most products, I just think, are not that good. Most services are not that good. And so they're always in the game of getting more sales. Right now, the lifetime value of my clients are pretty much infinite. I've never had a client say, Josh, I don't want to work with you anymore. Because if you just provide them value and you just make them more money, and they're just going to do this forever. So I always wanted to nail down the quality before the scale. But this is all actually besides the point of the video, where I was really wanting to talking about, like, just fucking dream bigger. Whatever you think, just dream 100 times bigger and just figure out how to get there. Sometimes it's going to take 3 years to figure out how to get to that destination because it takes a long time to build the foundation. But then once you get running, it skyrockets. For me, that's pretty much what it took. Over 3 years before I started to make, decent money. The easiest way to start to think bigger is just hang around people doing bigger things. That was the first time I instantly had to change my mindset from thinking the biggest I could was $100,000 per month or $10,000 per month. And then if you're hanging around people that are making $20 million per month, for them to scratch their head and say, well, that's interesting, it would have to pay off $100+ million. That's the only type of opportunity that they would even be interested in. And so they won't think smaller than that. And then I'm thinking, if I can't even think that big, they wouldn't even want to be a part of it. So it forces you to adjust what you're doing. And I don't know about you guys, but that's just young, dumb, and full of cum, I just have such a gross amount of confidence in myself that I could just literally conquer the world and do absolutely anything I ever wanted to. So if I'm laying in bed, if I'm daydreaming, I can just picture a world where everything is just spectacular. And I could just do anything. I can picture it so fucking easily and clearly, as I'm sure most young men can. Maybe women too. I'm not a woman, so I don't know. So when you dream with this massive ultimate vision with zero limitations, it's just then figuring out how to actually do it, which I'm not that good at. It's super easy for me to see where I could be in 5 or 10 years from now. It's actually exceptionally easy. I've probably 3-4 years ago, I foresaw exactly the position that I'm in today, and I know exactly where I'm going. That part's easy. For me, the more difficult part is actually crafting the day to day doing. I need to do this and this and this and this and this, and that's what compounds to the 5-year goal.